This is the Golf GTE, which you can pick up for 42,000 euros in its basic configuration. This one is almost completely spec'd out, so what we're going to do is completely look at this car. We're going to look at everything that it has to offer, go into every detail that you can optionally get, that this car has, which it doesn't, and then we'll also look at how the interior, exterior, and the engine, everything that it has to offer looks like. So let's get into the video. First thing we're going to do is take a look at the front. First of all, obviously you have your GTE logo, which is in blue. That's one of the trim colors that you get when you have a GTE. For instance, your seats are also going to be blue as their trim accent color in there. Up here we have our lights, which are actually, well, normally in standard you have your LED plus matrix light, or your LED plus lights, but optionally you can also get the IQ lights, which normally are in blue, which goes all the way through. But because this has the IQ lights with the black trim, which you can optionally get, everything in here is black, just like the whole rest of the car is. But these are the IQ lights, which you can optionally also get. Down here we have, optionally you could also get your fog lights optionally in here, which would be, there would be 5 segments out of these kind of honeycomb style, which would have LED fog lights in there. Down here we have an intake for our grille, and then further on we have the same thing with some parking sensors on the side, and again our lights. Obviously we have our logo in here as well for your Volkswagen, and then in general just a very nice aggressive looking front. Let's take a look under the hood. Moving on over to the engine. Obviously, first of all, you see we have 2 motors in here. You have the electric motor and your normal motor, or your petrol engine motor, because it's a plug-in hybrid. The petrol engine is a direct injected gasoline engine with a 1.4 liter and 4-cylinder engine, which produces 150 horsepower and in total 400 newton meters of torque when you combine both of the motors and engine. The electric motor only works when you're actually in sport mode or you're just in the electric mode, because the sport mode gives you the boost, so it combines the horsepower or the power of both engines for a total of 245 horsepower and a total of 400 newton meters of torque, like I just said. In total, that's going to teleport you, or not teleport you, but it's going to get you from 0 to 100 in 6.7 seconds. And also the 245 horsepower that you have when you combine them both is the same as in the GTI. That is basically the engine. Let's go on to the side and we'll take a look at the loading function of the battery. Moving on over to the side, first of all, we have these very nice black wheels. These are an option you can get. These are 18 inches. Normally you get 17 inches as standard with light metal wheels, which are in gray. But these are the only tires that you can actually get in black. And these are the 18-inch wheels, which are very nice. Also with the red brake caliper, which looks very nice. The braking disc is not ventilated or anything like that, but the braking caliper is a very good braking caliper, which works wonders. Up here we have our electric loading, which is going to get you, they claim 60 kilometers of range, or 60 to 61 kilometers. Don't know why they said that exactly, but realistically you're going to get around 41 kilometers of range in there. You can charge that in 5 hours at home with 2.3 kilowatt hours, and you can also charge it optionally with the optional plug that you can get, which is a Mode 3 Type 2 plug, and that's going to charge it in 3 hours and 40 minutes. The fuel tank obviously is on the other side, but I'm going to mention it right over here. Has a total of 39.5 liters of storage, and you can get a consumption of around 4.4. Volkswagen claims 1.7, but that's never going to happen. Moving on over to the side mirrors, we have our indicators in up here, which also light up if you have the keyless go, which there's ambient lighting for the outside, meaning it gives you like a welcoming thing when you open the car. So the lights blink up here, this opens up, and then on the back you also get your LED strip, which lights up. Just some basic side mirrors. And then moving further on, we have our nice little touch down here, which is also black. Like I said, everything is black. This would otherwise be chrome. This is in black because of the black trim, which also includes the IQ lights on the front with the black trim. For the keyless go, you would also get a projection of light, which would project from your handle, and not from your handle, from your side mirrors, which would project the logo down there. And that's just with the keyless go and the ambient lighting. And then further on, we again have the same tire, and then we'll move on to the back now. First of all, we have our kind of spoiler in the back with like a nice little lip that goes over and goes on over to the side, which is integrated pretty nicely. And you also have your light up here. Then we have kind of the blacked out rear window, which looks pretty nice. And then again, our GTE logo with the side lights again, just being the IQ lights, which also light up when you open up the car. And then down here, obviously, we have another kind of set for your lights. And then further down, we have fake exhausts. And that is basically it for the back. Moving on over to the trunk, where we have a total storage space of 272 liters. When you flip over the front seats, you're going to have 1,126 liters of storage in there. That's around 100 liters less than the other Golf cars, due to the fact that you obviously have the battery in the back, which removes 100 liters of storage. You can also take this thing out you can also take this thing out, so you just have a little bit more headroom in there. That is basically the back. I do like the fact that you don't have this like lip in there, just like the Mercedes that we reviewed had, where you kind of go against and then you have to lift it up a little bit more, which is not the greatest thing. But let's go into the back seats and check those out. Moving on over to the back seat, we'll get through this very quickly because my cameraman has some problems with his knees. The seats are actually pretty comfortable. You can sit in here for a pretty decent time. You can optionally also upgrade for your leather seats, which is going to change the front seats, and also your leather seats in here. But we just have a nice durable fabric in here, which is pretty nice, with the blue trim, obviously, due to the fact that it's a GTE version. Down here we have a center console, which has heated seats in the back. Also shows you climate control, which you can change up here with your air conditioning up there, which is very nice. And then down here you have two USB-C type ports, and that's basically it. Seating position is pretty nice. There is a good amount of space for Golf, which is pretty nice. Up here we have lights where you can just tap on and they go on and off. On the sides we obviously have your automatic windows with your trimmed or black trimmed windows, with a nice little storage system in the back where you can place a good amount, a big water bottle in there actually. And there's also ambient lighting on the top and also in the water bottle storage system down there. Up in the front you can also store some stuff in there as well. And then the last thing we're going to look at is the thing in the middle, where you can store 3 water bottles in there. One very small one, that's like a perfume bottle, and then 2 cup holders or cups. And then you can also flip over the other button right here, which is going to enable you to crawl into the back and let your children have a nice little fun play back in there. That is basically the back. Let's go into the front. Moving on over to the front, we have again our normal seats in here, which are top sport seats, that's what they're called. Very comfortable, as you have the nice sidebars where you can just lean against when you're going a little bit faster around corners. They actually feel pretty nice. Again, with the blue trim, due to the fact that you have a GTE. Optionally, you could also get the leather seats in here. Up here we have a very nice little trim, which I very like, and up here we have some good material as well. But then the further you go down, obviously, is Volkswagen, where there is some cost saving when it comes to that. On the sides, you do have your speakers, which is very nice, and then you have your big display, which is also a standard in the car. There's a lot of standards that come with the car. Is your digital cockpit, which is very nice, and optionally you could also get a heads-up display. The digital cockpit consists of 26 centimeters display and also a 25.3 centimeter display, with the Navigation Plus, which is also standard within the car. Then we have our climate control, and also, again, one thing I hate, everything is touch sensitive. I'd rather have buttons in here, but everything like your climate, you have to swipe it to actually make it lower, which is not the greatest, or higher. Down here you have your normal stuff, for instance your climb, so you can select your climate control when it comes to the display. Also it's touch sensitive, well, like when you move close to it, it actually turns on. Further down we have inductive loading for your phone, which is pretty nice, and lots of space. You can fit any phone in there. You could almost fit a tablet in there. And then further down we have our start-stop engine, and also a gear selector with the parking brake, which is pretty nicely made. I do like that. It's buttons, obviously, not touch sensitive. And then further down we have our cup holder, where you can store a good amount of you can store a water bottle in there, and you can actually move the kind of barrier of it, so it holds better in place. And then down here we have a good amount of space, not too much, but a good amount of space. We have a standard leather steering wheel, which is very nice, again with touch sensitive controls and heated steering wheel. Not the greatest fan of that, or biggest fan of that, due to the fact that it's touch control sensitive. But the steering wheel does feel pretty nice. I'm a decent fan when it comes to the steering wheels, when it comes to Volkswagen, because they actually feel pretty nice and they look pretty decent as well. But in almost every car they look the same, which is not the nicest thing. And then again, everything touch sensitive when it comes to that. Up here you do have your lights and also your panoramic window, which you could get, or panoramic roof, which you can optionally get. And you have a slider up there, again touch sensitive, just like your information, your lights, everything touch sensitive. It makes it very minimalistic, but again, I don't like it too much. And one thing I did forget to mention, you have a 12-volt charger down here as well. That is basically the front, and that is basically the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the car. It's a pretty nice car, but you have to decide on that for yourself if it's a car you want to get or not. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.